They know Big Tray Deee stay heavy every time.
That's the real Tray Deee.
know that.
That's the real Tray Deee.
10 times out of 10.
In 2003, which ultimately led to your prison sentence.
Yes.
I mean, now that you've served your time, can you talk about what happened back then?
It was actually something that was caused by just being in the wrong place at the wrong time.
For over a decade, Tracy Lamar Davis, known to the world as Big Tray Deee, reigned as hip-hop royalty. A platinum-selling artist, Dr. Dre collaborator, and a certified OG from the streets, his credibility was never in question. He didn't just rap about the life, he lived it. But the road wasn't smooth. Early on, a heated street dispute in 2003 led to a serious court case that landed him a 12-year sentence. Later, rumors began flying about a financial clash with Snoop Dogg over royalties, leaving fans whispering about possible tension within Tha Eastsidaz. So how did someone once seen as a hip-hop powerhouse become a forgotten titan of the game? Let's dive in. Before the fame, before the platinum plaques, there was Tracy Lamar Davis, a young man shaped by the streets of Long Beach, California. Born on April 27, 1966, Tray Deee grew up in a world where loyalty, respect, and reputation meant everything. He wasn't trying to look tough, he was tough. A real street figure who earned his respect long before he ever stepped into a booth. By the time he grabbed a mic, Tray Deee already had a lifetime of street lessons behind him. He faced challenges head on, never backing down, and had zero tolerance for fake energy or betrayal. That raw authenticity became his trademark, both in the neighborhood and the rap game. But the same code that earned him respect would also test his future. In late 2003, a serious altercation in Long Beach spiraled into a legal storm that changed everything. Prosecutors came down hard, aiming for decades behind bars, all over a single confrontation where no one was seriously harmed. It was a wake-up call about how tough the system could be for anyone connected to the streets in Los Angeles County. Before all that, Tray Deee had co-founded Tha Eastsidaz with Snoop Dogg and Goldie, a group that bridged different parts of Long Beach and dropped hits that went platinum and gold.
Nigga, tell the truth. That's why they didn't want to let Long Beach in the game, because they wasn't getting it back. We greedy. We want it all. We want it all.
Tray Deee later claimed he was shorted more than $1 million in royalties while the group only got a small advance. Things got even messier when word spread that Snoop's team charged the group for gold chains worn in a music video, marking them as business expenses, even though they were supposed to be gifts. For almost 2 years, Tray Deee tried to handle the money issue the peaceful way. But when nothing changed, he decided to face Snoop directly at his home. Tray Deee said Snoop bolted from the spot, jumping in his truck, and that moment sent tension through the roof. By the next day, things exploded. Reports said Snoop's people made the first move, and Tray Deee reacted. A moment that sparked the legal case that would change his life forever. That single clash tore apart the fragile unity that Tha Eastsidaz had worked so hard to build between different street groups. Because of California's strict sentencing laws, Tray Deee had little room to fight back in court. Facing a potential lifetime behind bars, he took a plea deal in 2005. 12 years locked up. Just like that, his booming career came to a sudden stop right when he was at his peak. But even before prison, Tray Deee was respected for how he handled challenges, switching between being an enforcer, a peacekeeper, and a voice of authority in the streets. While others used bodyguards or stayed distant, he dealt with problems head on, earning a reputation as one of the most genuine figures on the West Coast. His name carried real weight in Long Beach, and when Tray Deee spoke, people listened. That respect didn't come easy. It was built through intense moments that tested loyalty and character. One major test came in 2001 during the filming of Baby Boy, when Tray Deee stepped into a tense situation with San Diego rapper J.O. Felony. J.O. had an issue with Snoop over the term Crip Hop, and things heated up fast. When Snoop threw the first punch, Tray Deee and his crew of about 16 Long Beach homies instantly backed him up. Once the chaos settled, Tray Deee switched gears, stepping in as the peacemaker to make sure things didn't spiral into a bigger street war. He personally reached out to J.O. Felony to calm things down, showing everyone he could lead with both strength and sense. That moment proved Tray Deee wasn't just muscle, He had real influence. Another example came in 2000 during Dr. Dre's Up in Smoke tour. Tha Eastsidaz were supposed to hit the stage after R&B singer TQ, a lineup choice that Tray Deee and the crew saw as disrespectful. Tray Deee confronted the organizers and made the bold call to pull Tha Eastsidaz off the tour entirely.
In Long Beach, that tried to step on my toes, and it's just something that just flared up, you know.
No fights broke out, but the message was loud and clear. Tray Deee valued respect over fame every single time. He wasn't chasing the spotlight, he was protecting his principles. And even after prison, Tray Deee stayed true to his street code. Around 2017, at a Snoop Dogg party, he spotted someone in the crowd who had a reputation as an informant trying to mix with real OGs. Tray Deee wasn't having it. He straight up reminded the man that no snitches belong around true street vets. Things got heated fast, and the man sucker punched Tray Deee, knocking him into the pool. But Tray Deee climbed right out, cool and composed, brushing it off like it was nothing. That moment showed the world his loyalty and integrity couldn't be shaken. Not by fame, not by time, not by any setback. These moments paint the full picture of Tray Deee, not just as a rapper, but as someone who commanded respect wherever he went. He wasn't just in the game, he set the rules. Tray Dee's rare ability to balance both worlds made him stand out from everyone around him. He could drop a verse on a platinum record, rock the global stage, then step right back into the neighborhood and still command full respect. His name carried weight because he earned it through consistency, loyalty, and living by the same street code he rapped about every single day. That mix of realness and artistry became his superpower. His street-hardened credibility flowed perfectly into the heart of West Coast hip-hop. By the mid-1990s, Long Beach was rising as a powerhouse in the rap scene, and Tray Deee was right in the middle of it all. His authentic energy and loyalty to the Crip culture made him the perfect bridge between the block and the booth, respected by both sides. Tray Dee's professional journey kicked off in 1994, right when Snoop Dogg and Death Row Records were dominating the game. He first popped up on Snoop's Murder Was the Case soundtrack, dropping heat on the track 21 Jump Street, proving that his bars came straight from real-life experience, not imagination. Right after that, he showed up on Tha Dogg Pound's 1995 classic Dog Food on the track Reality, then continued working with Snoop on Tha Dogg Father and several movie soundtracks like Gridlocked and Flossin' and Scrappin'. Each feature pushed his rep higher.
I was actually facing 122 years.
122 years.
Yes, for gang. I was facing 50 years on gang allegations alone, and that's a charge they have for gang members.
Tray Deee ended up having to do some time in prison for
shooting that drunken night, but I'm just saying he was
a true artist who didn't need to exaggerate his story because he lived it. Being part of Snoop's inner circle also gave Tray Deee a front row seat to the chaos of the 90s rap world. He saw the tension between Death Row and Bad Boy Records up close, moments where words turned heated and situations could shift in seconds. Watching power players like Nate Dogg and Corrupt handle business up close, Tray Deee sharpened his own game, learning how to mix firmness with finesse. What really made him stand out was how easily he moved between two worlds. He stayed true to his street roots but could still hold his own in the studio, something most rappers struggled to balance. Tray Deee had been writing rhymes since 1988, treating rap not just as art, but as survival, a way to express himself while building real credibility and creating new doors of opportunity. He knew early on that life in the streets could only take you so far, but he refused to sell out or fake his story to please the industry. That loyalty to his truth gave him power. By combining street experience, smart connections, and serious lyrical talent, Tray Deee was perfectly positioned for his big breakthrough, the rise of Tha Eastsidaz in the late 90s. He wasn't just another voice on the mic. He was a leader who could bring people together, settle tension, and represent Long Beach with real authority. By the early 2000s, Tray Dee's path shifted from respected collaborator to full-blown hitmaker. His solid rep and strong network led to the formation of Tha Eastsidaz, a powerhouse crew that helped shape a bold, new West Coast sound. Alongside Snoop Dogg and Goldie, Tray Deee helped craft tracks that balanced raw street flavor with mainstream appeal.
We want it all. You can't have this back. We're gonna hand it down to
Something few could pull off. Their debut project, Snoop Dogg Presents Tha Eastsidaz 2000 was a massive success, hitting platinum status. The follow-up, Deuces and Trays The Old-Fashioned Way 2001, went gold and cemented their spot in hip-hop history. But their legacy wasn't just about music, it was symbolic. Tha Eastsidaz represented unity across rival Long Beach neighborhoods, showing that collaboration could exist even where tension once ruled. From tours to music videos, Tray Dee's reach kept expanding across the map. When Dr. Dre noticed his raw talent and realness in 1999, he brought Tray Dee onto the legendary 2001 album, right on the intro track with Exhibit, being the very first voice fans heard on a record that went on to sell over 12 million copies worldwide, gave Tray Dee a massive platform and serious respect. It wasn't just a feature, it was a stamp of approval from one of hip-hop's sharpest minds, proving Tray Dee's street-bred talent could stand shoulder to shoulder with the greats. Soon after, the movement went global. Tha Eastsidaz hit stages across Europe and Asia, rocking packed shows where fans shouted every lyric, even if they didn't speak the language. In places like Japan and Germany, people rapped along to Snoop Dogg and Tha Eastsidaz word for word, showing just how powerful West Coast energy truly was. Tray Dee saw firsthand how their music wasn't just entertainment, it was culture being exported worldwide. At the same time, Tray Dee stayed busy on his solo grind. In 2002, he dropped The General's List, a compilation that showed off his sharp wordplay, storytelling, and street wisdom.
TQ, yeah. So we told Dre, hey, we finna beat up TQ tonight, because he was taking our time slot where he was coming in. I think he paid to go on tour. You know what I'm saying? So when he was doing his time, the audience was packed, but he was an R&B singer.
The project reminded everyone that Tray Dee didn't need a group to shine. He could hold his own with ease. Through all the success, he stayed focused and professional, treating every verse and stage performance as a reflection of both his name and the Long Beach legacy he carried with pride. But as his influence grew, so did the pressure. Money issues started bubbling, and questions of loyalty began to test the bonds between people who were once tight. Balancing fame, music, and street loyalty was like walking a tightrope for Tray Dee. One wrong move could wipe out everything he'd worked for. Just as he hit the peak of success, platinum albums, global tours, and co-signs from legends like Dr. Dre, the weight of that double life started catching up to him. What should have been a victory lap soon turned into a series of moments that would change everything. Those milestones most artists dream about. Worldwide tours, platinum records, the Dre endorsement, all proved Tray Dee's greatness, but they also came with heavy pressure. Fame didn't erase the rules of the streets, and every alliance had to be handled carefully. Loyalty was always under the microscope, and one slip could turn respect into risk. Then, in early 2005, Tray Dee's life took a drastic turn. One minute he was performing on world stages, the next he was facing the reality of a 12-year sentence at the California Men's Colony in San Luis Obispo, tied to a 2003 confrontation in Long Beach. The shift was jarring, from flashing lights and fans chanting his name to the stillness of a cell. The punishment didn't just take away his freedom, it tested his identity, his rhythm, and everything he'd built through music and respect. While prosecutors had once aimed for a life-ending sentence, the 12-year deal was still harsh. A reminder of how the system often judged people by their background, not just their actions.
I think it was in New York, we came out on his set, so Dre started telling us, hey, you gonna come out the liquor store at this point. He started organizing, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So he made it to a way to where we was gonna come out on his set. That would have been dope, but it took off the show.
One misunderstanding or bad moment could overshadow a lifetime of effort, but instead of breaking down, Tray Dee turned the time into transformation. He treated incarceration like a challenge, a test of focus, patience, and strength. While locked up, he found peace through faith, converting to Islam and using it as a source of structure and direction. Embracing his spiritual path gave Tray Dee a whole new level of clarity. It helped him balance the two worlds that had always pulled at him, the street life and the pursuit of something greater through art. His faith gave him structure, focus, and accountability, guiding him to handle relationships and challenges without falling into the same traps as before. Even behind bars, Tray Dee refused to fade away. He turned his cell into a creative space, writing 2 novels, Streets Gone Cry, 2012, and Los Angeles Times, Urban Tales, 2013. These books proved he wasn't just a rapper. He was a storyteller with real range and insight. His words carried the same grit and authenticity that defined his music, but now with deeper reflection and purpose. Music never left his soul, though. Against all odds, he recorded Long Beach State of Mind, Volume 1, a full mixtape made inside prison using a smartphone with blankets and cardboard boxes for makeshift soundproofing. That kind of dedication showed his genius and hunger to stay connected to his fans and the ever-changing West Coast scene. Prison also gave Tray Deee time to think, really think. He looked back at every decision, every loyalty, and every situation that led to his downfall. Instead of just regret, he found strategy, a plan to move differently once he got out. By the time he walked free in April 2014, he wasn't the same man who went in. He had sharpened his mind, deepened his faith, and built a creative foundation ready to fuel his comeback. Tray Dee's time behind bars became more than punishment. It was transformation. Even when locked away, he proved that no wall could cage his spirit or silence his vision. The man who once recorded a mixtape from a prison cell, who found balance and discipline through faith, was finally free. After nearly a decade away, Tray Deee stepped back into a world that had completely changed. The streets he once ran had new faces, and the music game had evolved with a new wave of artists dominating the spotlight. But none of that shook him.
That like two in New York and then another.
Why didn't you take off the show?
I don't know, you know what I'm saying?
He was ready to rebuild everything from the ground up. Tray Deee came out swinging, fueled by the same hunger and authenticity that had always defined him. He knew staying relevant in hip-hop meant consistency, creativity, and hustle. And he had all three. He launched Supreme Circle Music Group, using it as a platform for both his solo projects and new collaborations. Between 2016 and 2023, he dropped a string of projects: The Third Coming, The General's List 2, The Certified Project, and Malice. Each album told a piece of his story, the struggles, the lessons, and the growth that came from years of reflection and resilience. His music now carried even more depth, blending the wisdom of experience with the grit that made him a legend. Collaboration stayed at the heart of his movement. Tray teamed up with Tha Chill Corrupt and Weasel Lock to form the supergroup Tha Dirty OGZ, releasing the album We Got Now and Next in 2016. The project showed that he could still hold his own next to the best, commanding attention while sharing the mic, proving his influence on the West Coast wasn't fading anytime soon. What truly struck fans, though, was the long-awaited reunion with Tha Eastsidaz. After years of tension, legal battles, and personal rifts, seeing them reconnect reminded everyone that real bonds, no matter how tested, can never truly be broken.
They know Big Tray Deee stay heavy every time. That's the real Tray Deee. You know that. That's the real Tray Deee. Just got out of 10.
Even while still behind bars, Tray Deee and Snoop Dogg managed to make peace. By the time 2014 rolled around, the legendary trio, Snoop, Goldie, and Tray Deee, were back on stage together, rocking shows in Fresno and Inglewood. Then, after more than 20 years apart, they made history again with the release of Still Easty in 2024, a powerful comeback project that proved their bond was stronger than time or tension. But this reunion wasn't just about nostalgia, it was a statement. It showed that respect, loyalty, and real history can survive every storm. Even with new artists running the game, Tray Dee's presence reminded everyone what authentic West Coast energy truly looks like. Still, despite the tours, the new music, and the loyal fan base, Big Tray Deee doesn't always get the recognition he deserves. His years away from the spotlight created a gap in how newer fans see his legacy, and the old financial disputes from back in the day made it harder for him to fully enjoy the success he earned. But his impact, it's everywhere. You can hear his influence in the rhythm, the slang, the tone, in the DNA of West Coast rap itself. Tray Dee's journey tells the real story of survival, growth, and staying solid when life tests you hardest. From the streets of Long Beach to worldwide stages, from cell walls to packed arenas, he showed that true greatness isn't about fame, it's about endurance and integrity. His legacy stands as proof that no matter how far you fall, real ones always rise again. Tray Dee's story isn't finished. It's still being written every time someone speaks his name with respect. If you felt this story and want more real-life tales from the culture, hit that like, share, and subscribe. Stick around and see what's next in our hood, because the truth never sleeps, and neither do we.